Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of my new podcast called Friends in 3D. My name is Katya, and it is my great pleasure and honor to welcome today's guest. She is a dear friend of mine and a wonderful photographer and stereo photographer and an artist. Her name is Jasminka, and I am so happy to have you here today. Hello, Jasminka, and thank you so much for agreeing to participate.
Hi, Katja. I'm so happy to see you too. Yeah, I think you are one of my longest friends and companions here on IG, and you always stay the way you are, and there's a lot I really appreciate and like about you.
Thank
And
you
of
so
course,
much.
you're a dear friend.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Likewise. And, I think you were one of my first friends on Instagram, because when I started taking stereos and posting stereos, I hardly knew anyone. And I think you were one of the first persons that started actually commenting on my posts. And it was
Okay.
it felt so nice because it felt like that I finally have some connection with
Yeah.
people. And so I'm very grateful to you for this and for always, for your support.
Yes, it's really great, and I love that you bring also like the essays and your visions on the stereoscopy to the community. For example, the essays are really something special. They opened often my mind about certain songs. Also, I really like this.
Oh, thank you so much. So let's start by just talking a little bit about you. And if you could tell us a couple of words about yourself, as much as you would like to share with this audience.
Yes, my name is Jasminka Ziegler, born in Germany, but my origins are from Croatia. And I was a few years as a toddler. I lived also in Croatia, but then came back for school and university to Germany. And yes, I've studied medicine. I'm a consultant radiologist. As a doctor, I work in a huge clinic already more than 22 years. I'm married with a wonderful man, my love of my life. I have two children, twins, 12 years old. Try to add a bit of something of me to the routines of the life, mainly with the stereos. And I think it really enriches my life. I think before I was just working mom, and I think you always have to have something for yourself.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. I think for me, when kids started growing up a little bit, because when they are really young, you don't have energy, you don't have any time for this, for any hobbies. But I think I also started looking for something for myself, and I'm really grateful to Stereoscopy for coming into my life, because I think it's really helped me also to have this this special place, this special thing just for myself. Yes. And something that
true.
you can.
I think we do need this to just function, as you lose a bit yourself. I think you need things that where you can express a bit of your creativity, your love, what you like to do. But like you said, the kids also had to grow up a bit. It was I have twins, so the first year it was just a 24/7 job. It's constantly, there were no way, not even to put on makeup or something. we were really busy, but I get a great support also from my husband. Yes, you need a bit till the kids are more independent and could do some of the stuff for their own. I'm quite happy with my kids. They're great.
Yes. I cannot imagine it must be a lot of work with the twins. I have two boys who are 3 years apart. It was also kind of hard because, like when my younger one was born, my older one was just 3 years old, so still very young. So also, you have to care for two, but with twins, it's just, it must be it must be a lot of work and a lot of energy for you. So it's great that now you have more time and more energy to be involved in these activities like stereoscopy, which is really great. I wanted to ask you about photography in general. Yes, not just 3D photography, but maybe 2D photography, because I ask all of my guests about it. So did you like taking pictures before you learned about stereoscopy, before you learned about 3D? Was it your hobby, or did it start for you just with 3D?
No, I think I always liked kind of making photos, mostly due to my work is we often stay very long at work, and you just somehow manage life when you come late back home. It was before we get the kids. And so the most time I made photography when we were in holidays. I remember also that we make walks, and I carried really a huge camera with two lenses,
yeah.
Around. I think mostly it was pictures of my husband, or flowers and landscapes, or any architectural buildings that were interesting. Then sometimes I thought, when you walk like 2 or 3 hours around this beautiful nature and have to carry so much around, and then I looked for more compact cameras. It was the time before smartphones were really usable as camera. So I did this before, but mostly I think on holidays or something festive occasions where I like to photograph.
Yeah. So how did you learn about 3D? First of all, did you have any exposure to 3D before this community? So did you have ViewMaster, or just like anaglyph pictures? Did you see it before, or was it the first time that you actually learned about 3D photography?
I think I really thought about it. Must have been anywhere in my life, but it wasn't. It was clearly inspired by first following Brian May, and the first time I just thought, what is this with these two pictures? And then I tried to find out more about it, and I remember the first posts I view with 3D book I got for my children, as there was a viewer included. So it was a quite funny setting, having the smartphone in the book and look through this viewer. And sometimes I had to screenshot them, the pictures, and then to view them, because at the beginning it was hard for me to view the small format on IG. And then I think like 1 or 2 months later, I started to take stereos. And it was really like, wow, this works. Really, the first stereo, it was very boring scene, but I tried to arrange some bottles. And I looked at it and yeah, I got it. It soon or very quickly gets addictive, that you really like to shoot a lot of things and scenes and try out. And I think inspired by lots of lovely people that I started to follow then, like Momoko and Eliza and Thomas Asch. And so it was inspired by their things, what they photographed, also you and Anna, and tried out different things like hyper stereos, or later Sangeeta is also a great inspiration to get in macro photography. Yeah, you get a lot of inspiration through the community, and of course also through Brian, who has some special things always and challenges or offers stereo opportunities. I think it's always fun trying out something new.
Yes, I agree. And I think that when I discovered this community, I also started following people. And actually, I think the first people I followed were through Brian's followers, basically, because I was following him. And so I started seeing, comments from people, especially on 3D photography. And so I would start following them. And so that's how it began for me. Yes, it's and I learned a lot. Yeah.
I think it was the same for me. I remember, I think, through a chat with Momoko, where she posted a hyper stereo, I find kind of out how to make them. So I think she was, and of course Brian's post, but of course you can't ask Brian how you do this. Actually, Momoko explained me how to take it.
I think I have watched some videos that Brian made on YouTube, where he actually shows you how to take pictures, stereo pictures, and that's actually how I started, because I thought that this is some kind of a superpower, like you cannot, like, you know, like just regular person like me wouldn't be able to take stereos. But when I looked at this video and he just showed how to do it with your smartphone, I thought, you know, why don't I try? So, yes. Do you think that for you as a photographer, as a stereo photographer, is there a difference in 3D and 2D photos? Like when, in terms of your own mood or how you see the world around you, what do you think?
I think as soon as I started 3D photography, 2D becomes a bit more boring for me.
Yes.
Actually, I like some scenes in 2D that didn't work in 3D. Like there is no depth composition that you can make. It looks nice, but probably you just have a foreground and a flat background. So that's not so appealing. So this is still left for 2D photography. But yes, I think you take other pictures, but about the compositions, you try to, you are inspired also by the sujets you know from 2D photography, but you also have to check if they work in 3D, if this is interesting enough. The best thing is when you have a lot of depth elements from entering the stereo window to the background. So that's the most appealing. And probably also some scenes that you never would find appealing in 2D photography, like when everything is in the same color and something and you barely can see what is it about. That's where I think for me the magic reveals, when you certainly see it pop out and you see clearly the structure, and you have really difficulties to see it in 2D.
Yes, I really love these photos sometimes people make of leaves on the ground when they are not bright, when you can see them, you know, even in 2D, but when they are kind of blending with the color of the ground. And when you look at this in 3D, they like pop out, and it's really cool because you can see the structure and also textures. Of course, the textures are also, you see them so much better, I think, in 3D, and it's always so cool.
I remember a stereo from Kalin. It was about, I think it looks like stars or something, but when you viewed it in 3D, it was clear that there was a leaf. So this was really a good example for this phenomenon.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I also really love your edits. Yes, your edits that sometimes you add to your 3Ds. You know, like when you have some effects or some special colors or sometimes even music. So it's so cool, because I think it also brings your photography to a next level. Yes, so not just taking photo, but also creatively, you know, changing it.
I think I like to do both, also stereo edits and of some kinds, like combining two stereos, or like you say, adding music. Also, I like to do sometimes edit of 2D photos. Then it's mostly that I like to capture a theme, probably like from a song or a favorite picture, like from Brian or some other artists who I admire really.
Yes. Yeah. You know, talking about Brian and Queen, I wanted to ask you, because, you know, we are all inspired by him. And for many of us, this hobby of stereoscopy, it started with following Brian. Yes. But I was wondering if you were a Queen fan since you were a kid, or did it come a bit later? So how did it start for you? And what is it that you love in Queen's music or in Brian's music?
I don't know if the definition for fan is a bit different in English-speaking languages than in Germany. I think in Germany it also has always something with an obsession to do. I'm quite a moderate fan, if you like to say so, and probably just discovered this the last 2 years for being really a fan of Brian. And so, but mostly it comes because like I really like his personality. That's not my way to like people for being famous or stars, or that's not really always appealing. Besides, I loved Queen music for a long time. It accompanied my life to different situations. It's often when you need a power or something to lift you up, or when you're really down, or also when you celebrate, when you're in good mood, it really supports supports me. So I think the first time I get really more aware of Queen music, I consumed music as a radio listener. In my teenage times, I was probably, if you can say, fan from Whitney Houston, and she inspired me a lot with her voice, and I always wanted to be like her as a singer. Or no, I didn't plan to be a singer. I know my limitations, but I tried. I tried to copy this to improve my voice or to train it a bit. But of course, you cannot reach this. Yeah, I think she was really what I was a fan of in my teenage times. But mostly, I just like the music. And I think the first time I really get more intensively in the theme of the Queen catalog was unfortunately when Freddie died. I remember I got the news when we were in our medicine studies in the anatomical theater. One of my commilitones was a massive Queen fan, and he recommended me all what I have to buy. And then it started to really listen a lot to it, and I thought, wow. But before, always there were a few songs that I really liked and that helped me a lot. This was a very intensive time, and I watched a lot of videos and or the greatest hits. I'm always listened through the time in phases, more this, more, and then it kind of came back again. Funny, unfortunately, the concerts are never announced anywhere in my cities where I lived. So I saw announcement of a concert from a Queen tribute band. And then I thought, let's look on Google and just gave him Queen and concert. And I thought, no, the real Queen members are touring. And how did I miss it? And then I booked my first Queen concert in 2017 in Hamburg. Through this, I also wanted to listen more about this music to really can have the full enjoyment. And I think what brought me then to Brian is that I started to look videos on YouTube, and also then they offered me videos of Brian's interviews, and I said, wow, he's really smart and kind. And I think this was the moment where I became a fan of Brian, because I was really astounded by his personality. Of course, his guitar plays out of the world, but I like persons when I like them as a person.
Yes, somehow. Absolutely. No, I agree.
I think there was also always something about Freddie that people love the person, and you can always. It was clearly he is a brilliant musician, but I think you're mostly interested in people when you had a glimpse of how their personality is. You always love something even more if you think, wow, that's really a great person.
Yes, no, I agree. And I think that for me it was very similar. And that's actually interesting that I got first hooked on Queen music after Freddie died. So I became more aware of their music, because the all radio stations started playing, Show Must Go On and other tracks from Innuendo. I would get some cassettes of their albums in the 90s, and then I kind of, moved on and just listened to other music. But I always had their greatest hits cassette with me, and I moved around a lot. We changed a lot of countries, but I always had this cassette with me, and I always would, as long as we had cassette players, of course. Then at some point we didn't, but I would just play it and always have it. And then I also kind of started listening more intensely to Queen in 2017. And and it was also for me, I think I gradually realized what a great person Brian is, and how I am really interested in what he's doing.
I think there is really no other rock band with such an amazing catalog of songs, and they are all, you can listen to them still in 50, 100 years. It's so well done that it just reaches out through many generations.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I really love seeing when I went to their live concerts, I mean, Queen and Adam Lambert concerts, that you can see all ages, basically, from, I don't know, people in their 70s and their 80s to young kids, like 12-year-olds, 10-year-olds, and they're all enjoying it. And it's really amazing. And I think it really says a lot about the quality of this music, because it just speaks to all generations and all ages.
I think that people that once love Queen music, they will never leave this. They will always stay fans, because you feel there is a personality behind all these songs, and there is a story. And I thought already the concerts which I saw in 2017 and 2018, even from the far behind corner, it was brilliant. The sound was great, but experiencing the band and Brian from much closer now, like closest for the London concert at the Barrier, was completely overwhelming. As you don't think it looks like a show or something, it feels like Brian is also, you find how connected he is to the music and to the guitar, and radiates it so strongly and with so much energy.
Yes, I think it's the magic of Queen, and it's something that existed when Freddie was still with us. And I remember that in one documentary, someone said that even if you were in the last row, like all the way in the back, with Freddie on stage, with Queen on stage, you would always feel this connection. And I think Brian continues to carry this, this connection. And I agree that I watched my first concert was from the last, literally from the last row of the arena. And then now in London, when I attended their concert in London, it was much closer. It was not from the Barrier, but it was still quite close. And you can, like, it doesn't matter where you are, you can still feel this connection. I think it's so powerful, and I haven't experienced it at any other concerts, even though I attended lots of great concerts and my favorite bands as well. But this is very extraordinary. I think it's I think it's so special about their live shows.
I find it a bit a pity that our schedules, we missed to meet at London. I like really the idea of what brought this community of stereo photographers, artists, and Queen fans, that you are never alone. Somehow I booked this London concerts just for me, but you met so many people, and of course I hope we can meet. But this was an amazing experience. The concerts in 2017 and 18 I've seen, I had someone with me, like my husband or two friends, but they like Queen music, but they said, oh no, just the cheapest seats. And you have to be, it was also my first attempt this year on stereo photography of concerts, so I wanted to be a bit closer. And also I could, even for the German tour leg, I couldn't find any date where it fits to bring the family with. But it feels like you always have a family when you are connected to this music, the Queen music and Stereoscopy. I met so many amazing people. It was really wonderful.
Yes, yes.
Great. Yeah, but we may still hope we can see each other
I
someday.
hope so. I hope so. I really hope so. And I hope there will be some future events. I don't know, Stereoscopy related, or maybe some concerts that we can attend together. Yeah, I agree. It was very special for me, and my first concert was also just me and my family, which was great because I got to take my kids to see Queen, and I really wanted to show them. But when I attended, it was actually the same year, 2019, the Global Citizen Festival. I was there with a group of stereo friends, and then of course I went to London. Also attended it with a friend of mine, which was really great. It was really different when you like attended with your fellow fan and just enjoying it together. So sharing this joy. So I wanted to ask you, as a stereo photographer, do you hope to achieve something, like to, I don't know, to become a better photographer, or do you have any dreams and inspirations about your photography?
I actually love to be inspired by new things. I think still what I love most about Stereoscopy is the photography. But someday I really like to get more experiences in like conversions or something. But what I really love most is the photography, as it brings me to the scene, and I've experienced it myself. Yes, also I have often some ideas, and what is at the moment quite appealing to me is this one device posts. I take the stereos with the smartphone, I edit them and post them then. The editing started just with like Snapseed or other photo apps, but sometimes I have an idea of combining stereos or arranging something in levels. And I see that doing this with smartphone apps is a lot more time consuming. If you like to create more levels and with background removals and to create another scene, and you make a little flaw, you have to start from beginning. And this is something it's much easier to do, I think, with Photoshop. And so this is one thing that I would like to go to get more experience with this. I'm always a bit hesitant to pay this high monthly rate. So that's why I stayed a bit away from Photoshop. And also I didn't want to buy something on my old PC. And so probably the direction of Photoshop will be something that is I like to improve, but also I have to, for me, I think I have to take not too many stereos. I'm taking a lot of stereos, and I'm not even possible to edit all. And so this will also be hopefully new for me, that I try to reduce this a bit. You get so lost in this large amount. But I get so many inspirations from every corner. Oh, this is beautiful and this is beautiful. So for me to step more forward, I should reduce a bit. But it's probably a bit difficult. Oh, yes, I would like to make stereo cards and something like a stereo book. I have first attempts on this, but it's hard to find, like for a book, for a photo book, something where you can put in the frames and it fits for the format. I made a little booklet that's quite nice with some favorite, bringing it to a paper. That would be also something I would like, but I need more time. You are so occupied with family, work, and everything. And probably I could get more time if I would take less stereos, but it's at the moment like an instinct. I don't know.
Yes, it's the same for me, because I take a lot of stereos and then I don't have time to edit them, because sometimes I edit them on my phone and sometimes I transfer them to my computer to edit them in the different program like Stereo Photo Maker, and then I forget about them. And so one more thing that I wanted to ask you is again something that I ask everyone, and you kind of started talking about it, and which is made very interesting point about the word fan in English versus German. And but what I wanted to ask you, what does it mean to you to be a fan? Because I think for me, just loving music, loving a band's music versus being a fan is something different. And I think it doesn't, well, sometimes of course you can be obsessive about someone, but it's not necessarily so. Like you can just be maybe more involved in fandom, in just following some band's work. So I was wondering, what does it mean to you to be a fan of Brian or of Queen? Yes, so what does it give you?
As I said, I'm a bit probably different definition of a fan, mostly enjoying the music. For me, it's more about personality of people that really attracts me then. Like the combination of the music and the personality is interesting. I'm not the biggest collector, though I find all the things that Brian offered, the books and the stereo books and vinyl LPs, I kind of started to be a collector because I just love these materials. I love to have a book where I can see also the stories about the stereoscopy and also these sets with the vinyl. Like I said, I was never a collector, but it's the offers are so good. Also, absolutely, the concert time, I was completely in a fan mood. But I enjoyed it this way better, I think.
Yes, yes. I think it's also about the community, yes, like being among people who are like you.
Yeah,
yes?
yeah. Yes, there are lots of benefits. You learn so many interesting people through music and through Stereoscopy. Yeah, and on Instagram. I was never a social media person before. Actually, I stepped in this direction because I think I followed Brian on a soapbox, and on one time I discovered that on Instagram he had more posts from a tour. So I followed a long time like silently and watched the posts on Instagram and didn't do anything, and then I decided to make an own account, and I'm opened up a lot during this process. But I think also especially with the lockdown, it brought us so much to be social on a media where you can meet and where you don't have this social distancing. I think especially when people are lonely, they have a possibility to meet somehow and interact with people. I'm fortunate that I live in a family, but nevertheless, you need a bit more input from others, directions, and so Queen music really opened up this for me. But also before social media, it was always like a companion. Certain songs speak so much to you that however your mood is, it kind of helps.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's during the lockdown, this presence of the community and the presence of Brian on social media, it really helped us all. Yes, and I think it helped us all to connect to each other and to stay together, even though we couldn't see each other in person and we couldn't see our friends in person. So it was really, really hard, but it kind of got us through this couple of years. I think it was the same for me. So thank you so much. I just wanted again to thank you for your time and for agreeing to participate in this. It's been so great to talk to you, and really loved all your stories and all your insights into your own creativity, your own story. if you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, please make sure you check Jasminka's stereos and edits and photos. There will be leaving links in the description. And yes, and thank you so much again. And I hope that one day we will see each other in person.
Thank you, Katja. It was so lovely to see you. I think you know that I like you since the beginning. You are such an authentic and very lovely person, and supportive, and good to have here on this social media, where it's not everything always that positive, but mostly it's a good place, and enjoy especially people like you, and to give someone inspiration, but also support, and you feel you have friends, really. And I really happy we met here, and we could talk today and see each other.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much, and likewise, I feel the same about you. So thank you so much, and see you soon.
See you. Bye.
Bye. We recorded this conversation with Jasminka about a year ago, late summer or early fall of 2022. Now that when I'm editing this episode, it's summer 2023, so almost a year had passed. And during this year, we actually had this wonderful opportunity to meet in London, UK, because both Jasminka and I had this great honor of being included into the book of contemporary stereo photography, which was edited by Brian May, and which is called Stereoscopy is Good for You. For the book launch, there was also an exhibition opened in London and Proud Galleries London at Charing Cross, which also featured a lot of photography, and actually Jasminka's photos were also featured in this exhibition. So we thought that it might be a good idea for us to record this little afterward, where we talk a little bit about this incredible event and how we finally could meet. So yeah, Jasminka, I wanted to ask you, what did you think of this event, and what was the most memorable moment of this day of November the 2nd, 2022?
Yes, first of all, I think it was quite a surprise to get the invitation. It was never talked about it, that there might be something like this, or even the gallery was a big surprise. I was really looking forward to meet all these people that I really missed during the concerts to meet. Like we met the first time, and you and I, and also so many others. So this, beside the fact that it's something like one in a lifetime experience, I would never had any pictures in a gallery if it wasn't, if Brian May didn't have done this also with the book. So this is a great honor, and really a one in a lifetime experience, which was really breathtaking just to think about it. And then plus the bonus to meet all these people you like so for such a long time, love to meet, to like you and many other friends. That was really wonderful.
Yes, absolutely. To me, it was also a fantastic opportunity to see you all, and I remember when I came up to this gallery, and people were just waiting in the street. It felt so wonderful to see all of those faces that I knew, and it really felt like a gathering of friends. But most of them I never seen in my life. Like I only saw you like on Zoom or on Instagram. And so, yes, it felt so special and so amazing. And I think we all had this feeling that we all knew each other so well. So there was no awkwardness. There was like, it was all very natural.
So, like meeting friends, old friends.
Yes.
For the first time, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you feel about meeting Brian?
I think I was extremely grateful that I didn't know what will happen. Will we even be able to take a picture or have a few words with him? As I was quite aware that there will be plenty of people, and so I was extremely grateful to see that Brian has taken time for everyone, and gives his greetings to everyone and say hello. I think he is exactly the way people imagine he is. He is so authentic, and you feel he is really, like when he watches at you, he is just this moment, even if it's a short moment, completely with you. So it's someone who is very pure at heart. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought I would ever meet him, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm never lucky with any schedules to come to events. Also, it was a very special moment, because I admire him as a long time, probably mostly even as a human. He is really a great human, and he is so supportive and connective for people.
Yes, I was also really surprised and amazed how he would just take a moment with every person, and there were, I think, maybe 100 of us, and it must have been very, exhausting for him. But he really, like, it really felt like, I agree that it was like with me, it lasted maybe a minute or maybe 2 minutes.
Oh yeah. Same,
but he was like totally with you, like not not being distracted, but like he was totally with you. So it was very special. So that was it was an amazing event, and I'm also very grateful that it happened, and I'm very grateful to you and to all of my friends that I saw there, and I know it was very unique and probably once in a lifetime, but hopefully we will have another opportunity in our in our lives to get together. Yes, but I think it was wonderful to have this, as I think many of us said it after that, like a stereo home, like a physical place where we could all get together with all the photos featured, the books, the London Stereoscopy company books featured, and it was wonderful that there was actually a place where you can come to it and see it, which is not a very...
And that's also, I think it's also a great thing to spread a bit the word about stereoscopy, central in London, and meanwhile with the musical, I hope it reaches out to more people. What I also especially love that we met afterwards in the bar with all the friends. And do you remember when the Queen's songs came out, how everybody joined?
Yes.
Wonderful memories.
Yes, it was an really awesome moment. Okay, so thank you so much. I'm really glad that we recorded this little bit because I think it really makes sense to have this conclusion, and I think it's very uplifting that after saying that we'd love to meet each other, we actually met each other, and it's such a joyful, an amazing occasion. So thank you so much again, and I will see you around.
Lovely to see you again.
Yes.